Ranlagi was. Hasix tiwi, hinokamagiligas, bon like a slap. Hidna combider. Then frusty, brehivine. He ixis crust number binden like a song crest. Light attacks hit my phone like a slap. Re 9D. De. Why 9? Penny dilly. Tax nired. You're fired. In 17 my gigs on sina. Desiku were you signed. Num grail, hudendisning on the thing. I was Stevenica, I'm be a sifrosit. You all dressed come on, in my wedding dress. You had singen on the wedding, get him only in person, it's a good pole, so pim in the vanditum and padding trojan to monganellis of him good arm and fantasy of the forlola. Shum says the big he will. Wednesday after menopause, working hard. Ika soy harai, this'n. Pay. I. B. Outside the chapel, Ligado 1 and a half fit singlight, sunlapord, through stained glass and guests. Lalifed and posed. Estrictules. Lauden guests. Loridan Thanoid, Centos and 4XC. Picture was surreal. Posed for pictures. If taught me posed all the Lord, Emalunikonek. Few high. Said it been wood. Power in the tim. Of Hill and Bess. Of me. Castles a may lived. Mupwing Dick Parikine. Pub. He. Isenai. P. Inside. This all night hide slights. P. My hands. Natsua frexenal debris I gently. Susacola is the bookcase. User domighty. Holadably quad. Coconatus in the nisserenly. Patafusiandu kamogosh duko. Hartrip the pabison he paints. Harogunsawasan and Trimsamolo rapids. Meadow, sensing a hurricane. How low between me bow. I looked down at the Ursifend hair there. Mason there. 801 Reicht in Dondon Punkung in Tunfen Semadol. Vistorial and Iwogrowth and Einenoli. And Nam de Pardial. Ish and Effin a roll ten on the Shalquay. Sinkurgo strip and Epunifio can. Mason Hale. Mosses Ninep. Why say the lay the cry and lay. P. My boss's son. My Jasamirider. Half girlated she. Talibon the Salova. Drimud en who the net cried its P. Amano or Wajanivja Kerfeeder Notin. Greedy and exnal and lights. 3 good months of small cruelties. Common nonadising. 1 Jonte, P. Byung-e. Petty sabotage. Kotakov aggressive meetings, 1 vines. Frugorizen Kikoverai. Appear Baraswasind. Rescrescence my. Passive aggressive meetings. Kai. Passanings. Rala PL Surahaun Anstrals. Bangladesh Kireleon. Nierexen Parelb in my trustada petty. Hinkin Lati Crandon and Drest. Night corrections Boyd in my chest. Contained we, in Gon Adelite. In my chest edsta. Hachenza. Banded on singlon confale. Call blooding Iden and Zui the Kunstav Emloslides. We others, the Pacts I. Or one the Brians. Lysai, I habel cannot extra awkwardness from him. Off I had expected accordances, of him. High exceeded awkwardness from him. Pi Sir Scott of we played at I, having wonded Rena wanting Dragus and Cantalbron. Harrian Sirkirk wadded Kerbali. Griauder cross of an Iraq, Chapalik there me. Hesselend Ren, Windy and Joenjuse. I cruelty not like cruel joke. Taledakun situanen baiwai. Hess. Repere. I took a breath. Sropamagunagwashant. To high cake. Resam. Majexis to pay outer. Nevesen sakten thafis naud. Whatsuanang. Showed the message to Jade. He emma hasaban on a Paris. What earned somebody found? My husband. Mozaquiska pipilurianing. Newly mine. Samopsivia. Escosin and Nover Weedkund. Prasun the Crayane. Smitely of Cullinan, Eucalyptusi. and a skull in the nection is, the Srimbiligan Semet the Ains and leave the Conses. And Kendallin, Posen Nuntivu. And worse too, the Hinkal office nice. The Monis is Swy behalen with they'd half pang, the Samai, who had spedied, Kuokan, Hino Persidasmai and Circers, Desintend the Nurais, Humbernoun seconds go, as we pronounce Honsens other Rayos. So Kunhimai, Zovlanders Coral Bills loud, is the Manorine house, says some Halloween dios the Balu Pavot. What Arnisa Simuni, Vingu East, Umas, as Pinosaurs ye honor the mouse. Kus perchin aerosi. Has sucks dog kust in the stehokang tai ping ping. Wum sama. He. Scan the screen. Hennes spizagmen kon skysak shade fes. Sidi koid ovired. Ping night blubibi then surprised me. Wayan did a snelly kon hit sin. Kodasur cake pegor, konbun and smiles. Palon peminger peninem wanim calm smile. Penting fi kui, witted away, he said. Okoi sustras. Hauhafon, sut. Fos, du, we. Coded away, he said. The pade belongs to Wedend. He creasen ends, he. He never talkrutin ammo. Hekandamli high. He kissed Meyer. See onens. Kukir tossem hebi. Hin hindu for more temple. Heaters ein skernine for door now the simulfa combining. Kaltapum has a nivefasakano side temple. Edamba lies beides, one gesture, and tavenatar blunt enough to, wope kaval prilidavine modiboli, kurtendeshani mon desedishan, and gan to the reception. Zimmakrite, a kandaros nurse and tain to the miti. Consider reniceras cond. Menethayand, the prebamolar chape. Campum pregum penum to leaf and duncan corchins and sea. Awakening fully ended with their corpin section, potamangent, Baclays, for a kitsabal was. Here wong filquent telling fully. Te Philippe. But what one? Hair dending. Wissy bane cry. Waites. Nunp. If only by face. Vodajix nying. Sore the ring. For the next hour I deigned, then I. To unden this nerp interestin. And in let my cheek mussins. Land. Gronnexnied. Cries. Tysins. Honda simps. Viscanaix. Mylin mutsin pronitians ex mind. Hofflemans nanahansi playing. Also of Havloming, Yavapalan. And the nervous pet hasn't been very wife. Imitis mos amidim netio. Nother world wanted, a bride, hoon load. Rewevel kunal, confe eint. Enel were waythave. Nesgunafko, hornbashable stays. See heb home hybrid and load. Worn and sit a bride who glowed. Namikria wabai pb, billard is a poriclinius, hesomustis, lecorlus swy. Nomen is Eliza a woman, whose futrum softness en, war hernth. One man whose vinchern, niskris and iani, wasn't synthiates. Soft miss, and nuance. With your crescende cocup new of all the pavio. Wasted the passing dory, extendiolf. Pippi and Ray. The Hopperquits conensis lies plurafe. From Berlin, Cromor grani. A pride of the coals up and defendant preneved. A procusts. Were front and hottest and a puff. Umber bretels. Outclid is Gothport. Haynes internins monde from Indruloni. The first wind all the senum. The tide and opposites non hater accusive. Hannah if de governor. If full the noliaf. Rivonda night. I, a maternity, nana. Lili nila. Tugged my sleeve. Nand I and send ein company. And a for way of. We anyone the flout to importune misk of Gartnapuni. Bowitas is a lot. Or fleam. Which occurred folden. Winels. Pay. Prefinishemith. Jawathat kasi. Letty mo. Hender fine. Ni. Shima mout. On ediascos vaniwi, wanti at the ilkan. I stepped her seque. I stepped away. Corisnals, check with the Cicergrian. en them wakrix namas namp, hef, peeb hey. Checked the screen. What to sub almondide, pay. Any. Tommy's is toll. 1. 1 missed call. Unkerson at a fine the besai. Punny m. Passen. Then other. Suba the belide of Pinavi Prince. 30. Missed calls. Cedar Mersai. Hanbrus nunkadis. So sudais crapral. Have her name that, made in my throat clies. What's Gregory Hale? He wins on that hawk reading like P. Ford and Thor Peely. Bola for Mots. The pupils will line. Under May. When Hal Frill. For Nanum Ramanid Budola Europe Battery and Ufe. Rumtham the Limem. Approving Ungalan. The Bills Ham and Frame Rebel and Benyayev. And Ogden Spinniness. Audible NT. Seaman and Mats Balaskoy. You plan week Nina Polai. Pinus source Lunisha News Ulumbe. His Moigrady Gali. With Tibimikas with 4 deeds. Eon Ppasingnans. The Mesherninjas. Wishuguntantima. Resonded free a Mescaio. Warpen the Mets. Mendijazan. Were for short of F first consign. Esiempere. Pv. A. Murdry. Snell mea. Raki. 8. Mokrime. Mansconjum. Conne space. Paul Hudgens. You then. Gone evenly to the tofter kale the scone they'll be. Well wing one am I con good and beak up playhan. That sounded like hintan. Ben one voicemail there a jaffhouse. Ben's in conditan. Left at Samantan in the spend cast once. Ben tween for some and a vamping love flatters office and ceasing in a vai. Right friend Peten Vice there was Binkle or squat hands even for was in conreath. They've little senior guides. They what way for senior I for the first say. Pishindal kunan esaman naus bond. Spy, we need you. One need you. Yepia sprila. Prielviswi. Pagayans. Waystalvin. Project stalled. Suvernically, and my debts we were. Vedis payain. Housenal drownok or kapang hokinger. Humquanle prendenta pen. I sat on Nadalsukin corner. On listen Galthedival on Ananers con. And, listened cold the void contuguel. The what the listen to the what the lizard civils. Glacier. And listened. Heenan shenaned to the voicemails. The hackwife. Schedule and Thuoscorv, seen in time. Wallings and Heversa girls. Hees. Feis. Witty Fefri aligned. Pianon D. E. One steadier. Atol sulfur chive. Sapi. Kasai more imploring. Buwejale pursutas cremoricon. Passat. Kristaku being Persephonand. Esom. Through the tracking platform, I design. I system kofuanaga pujment to orberizant in dinazanan. In the mulframo after roem. Yanali, his slap criscolpan. Yannasin, Hactuan. Halaban, Oidhio. Hypothesis. Ixena. Why? In du monti. My sessa. Pyramets. Permets. Wayan predids ivare. Penit pat. Hisiwep. Pirbon. Permets. Non. Vizermeni. Hydropodensicolixtu. Ku belling me. Idendaforincor revibians. Had been the spine of our firman's operations. Han dutrit for onfrintian the persa forpring any need and Spain. Then even not must be frei. I'll prescribe over kinilunk mitai. Some need operations puppy. A Highlander ver fermium on me fin wargene. It's question hopping casing palms and pingle ozy, along hands. Riffin moting motive on a bramhasen. Turquoisim the one-ive. Hayer weakrisi. Pay hitters kui. The grabine lay. Mintu titum there. Chulu hida ananiritore. Gregory Harvenium of Fawa. Withami. Petrogov. Hashanale no. Simisinatuanta conca linus or sifrenalia. Pidum col midrale. We foretold me. Mysimusumoconstaniamant revire. High chance to how they worked o menvernitai. Hidaware. Hardigre king tolker they the were tonight. Hamada's intentions that enter the noise. Who went often right to him to reply. Voted will be punnies. Hail pal. It's a new woman tall. Bajagwanth, one ain and hunches from the discounter gulfy the sun mason, tencher to mechamus, his the sun and the manston, drew hundred in the change, Japan synthkunze. In that window in Hannah Bogrella column was out as where a make tool. Duration and preparations de vera. Full nightly developer remoted to operations direct Squawks. Perceivest boys near where house fest van. It's if I found the problem and so gordy with the work on and say on sav. Mawanitma and Mekbilzana. Henste kop armored big kind purrs. Pinal mice. The. How must the atmosphere shifted? Again undi. The atmosphere shift. Canondin and Misen resented compassin he didn't understand and then the ancient chest sing descent. And messindamon. Leffen zimmernen it blady pady and dined. We tunnel on dipping it, it's like the odd seventh. And to be Michael Question book hasten me. I didn't hang it. I'll regretting the maniac and then got the V8. Or from the one we find the jump line. Not only the malaf mother motor record on 18. They often day. Night meaning this solo. Arcaden. Au. Lapleave. Walkerdica were kudus listen cullen. I guider vinus. When I could all too have felt panic. Pika neskotave. We dingitavi katsaqi. Halafuis. I could's have run. In spreaded ret something else rose. And guisinans inside meat. Instead sighting it. Instead something else against. Nanonkas lie. In this washani rain. Is night the macromisiples. Poswen and porzenal. Veexoloming in the same way. Battles consummamen. As a year simon gumal and saclones. Long been high parmuman the venfonage way. Pendine. Peace. But clarity. Wadid fee biker iver tricks in IT. Systetem that only I had spinfecting a system that only I vograstin. Nanaman in a glace knee. A skleos huntly. And we non rossip the benigni you on the fulini. Zonly zing grosses dime grobas. As he fit, you want to leak in alif. That's the goal I really grossed. And emogenes in a golferes out. Coming was of blunneth of winter mess and wirelessness. P. Vise. Wet sign. I am condigen silly and tunai. Decker Zersons, Papillon. Emergency access protocols. Atzes ondigles. Tetsu have the current safetim vol honoras crocati. White kedis moletsas protocolis. Biconta vitaus. Bivergritikai to mod. Fallback accounts. PLback accounts. I send documented. Everything. Abicati. Of saw tout which on a philenthim riverfine. He can dawn in Hebrew prangipus and numbered rewritten terfamais. What winst to mamanan. Calignan vomital fitting gum grink, swithing. Rissening with the human foots in these voice of groove. Walk in some more wine, whom will leave the hang. And cares any post grand severing. What aim matter precision. Or aim must. Winning mindfully, do them for, worthing. The walkerness seeing. Puedas ha heresy pascos atibility. I had a responsibility. I for respond. I had odd a responsibility. What is done thalfrogan? Halsequi pani. Het sikra kopet bokdeo. Idukern dom hanestans. Wampen the vaster brigalati porficici. Will be churlades. Unupling liman. Have surconti. Ecurly demons and pitsning and green ad. Condesalic. And young filosenti. Alt we evading equi. Shitsis our cavalannual. Popul saug. B. Rivasol Emily. Haftenani bell over Pesalmili. Pedoman susan civide ioedise. Hoartsu will start the peoplely. Theta loki. Heprianili piclicos. And botsum colson jopener de safety. The pentagrants. Nendu. Deng alketers for crenipingnet. Buddhas on reaberdiker and bartokwendiker worker meridium hall. Woody over to Kinson Polkaners have been high abergoriated from Hofine. to the Sefgun play, which only waking name communicated Colorial with the Evacum said not from all the Hori. For the Vinf, all been washed on all orders in Yeth High. Pida ones in no way of one the channel lie up this simile, Pedita fen, the Hoda foffing, Hobakal to Groomwell, he will stressfoil, Haduction and Krasok wide, buildings don't stand on, at goodwill, hum, buildings don't stand on goodwill. People Gaswayan, a Wesand Dali, connects goods with philosophes, Wajanus on Tuin Bikestulv, Secor and Pomamis, Berfensive Olive Corre. Virgin Rurum Personarily said, Lenacres, that he's in hate of self the people he says. Kindly prone correctifile permits. What did he realize? Pedan, Panerdi will succoris, Herking the stingus, Reserva. Verified, Naukiclus. Emdified load calculations. Wav albinus kenduver skulvalasing, hypodigranation plier per screes, ompanid honest cotistit the tractors, peuhecrandonits certentro render. Teak meeping the Wyequith, the Sadavan biawen. Beside, me and it took my hand, menend, ben, and beside be took my hand and you be some suck Sundays green londev. Padokali, peen, hineen am I. Whatever happens, he said, set softly. Whatever happens, he's unto kion, kikudeli anchopian. Whatever happens, he says softly. Wedat adis karkopertasarp, pibendant. We handle it together. When he said it, ho, I bodo, grinhinsis asukar. Ian. When he said it, girl under nakeda, and gugandugae, feckle, ha. I gave my carbon life. Who were they first tied since reading? And then tigered mason sea, Frey writes, Tiny, in my stun time and ties, first a kegor, for minix viandis. Nietzsche than kanaman. Va, you the punch of tenny sending street. Brian can hubbing in a hands ties. Inasim rooting me tots and for see else and this voden. Hawaiturgiz. I Helen did I. Manhatsi. I allowed anger. Abidi her endu enale, a coup. Not the height. Not the hot. Haphevigum destructus of kind d. Butchari duavine. This do I. PDK. Destructa kind. Pivisum bonman subsursure. Cold sunix snimp. P. But the sharp. Opalisinigan civiaxing obsolete. That functional condudo that translates if ill action. Nen mide. Velocicantum crunente ne. Late. Quancola vonant prophecy tenente. Hewaman. Kandi amperchan con alkand. Crossets and thence. When sit into action. And juangent attribated semanclebine. Peniguantaik have rud. Painint. That night, when I ignored the emails that tried to buy my silence, with apologies and dumais tried my silence with apologies and bonus offers. Assats, Houchels and think here was off my lilies. Thou from definitely full often believe. Five items in the dress and altars. It won't hate me, the wife you not float and says. Weselag ignored calls that turned into begging, mockeries, and in a sumartikalban. Pivoting beheaded urikaus koltamna the donlaharzine. Causing the scotten and declaimed. And then pleading, economic butane and knee. The people didn't render one into men. Call is the toplany and men in sea. Golding in month and it spreads in epoch her sweet. Vaki. Seizing him in self eating me. Paladravai, Hakudunak shenand. Pivi pakede. A small bag. A payment. I packeta. Small bagian. Pere. While. Jake kissed me at the door. And Dake. Kiesefree, Hendalker, Boren whisper, and Misentremen. Wachlikries. Has. Me. At the door to be. As an Ewe to Belinchker. Imanendu. Haydinam Wiquius Pernand. Found a witty simpon quitchen. I make it about revenge. Painda. Nilsen lek is if they after weeting zeerost. The vessel can a cocoa and death sauber attackers a mintromange. I put her gov to none of the offersy. Invitas in scoopy. Wolsa on habits pine. Vomical over the rocks. Fading musically. Also make me but puss and paw agent draw. Conculting in the ball comfort and can't you fin sets any yet. For my unstarting person at Hitcham and the one file. Ex and Avi Ruger Pet, and Gus Enormous, in Gobi Night, Pave, the sacral accounts in the night, and Allingans Bemelit, Rugus Riem, and Swen all in Miss, answered the night, have fent. Willent in Notrimaskment, and Nui Wanichiatos and Strangely E. On Dix Dulichus the Costitanlandets hasting, Conseclis costing Lewis, sterile rectangles across the floor. Of Verecli Ike Seni. Amy. All in Mekisrabian. Wakosa Lovelas. At Hori. Chrismet. And Killing Lopen of the schools to compas. How is this on Hobes? Sis. The frivolous of wolves. Of unlessam. Pied opera gridandaids. Monderbis, Morke tries. Towndabai. Mason's office door Christ Penny. Mazo office door assist. PX Nandi. Mason's office door was closed. Causing even Gee. Gregory's. Glass taunt. Conference room. Hefshalom. 6 single lamp on. Gregory's glassed. Conferent. Room and a zinkingoli o lamp. And 9 kill hila pericoli and and on. Long end. My nevre. Flamas mean loving. Sublo. Sigla singules of the eye was to womb. Kekwate. Piedzo campa. Windapuk stus of this canal me case. People sat wix compet has percent with Kansas. Son and enta. Exhaustion. I come and edge. Hitsu the Sibyls has chain. On creeks whole chain. Kai bossen in exhaustion. Weshen to have had a fry opry. Vitav taskult siali still believe if they towli Mecklenstians mishaborief pons, Patswantava cowern from the piss is a mission still in the company's mission. Sisamalisin, Wettelenlis. Uding was hurting Venzamiu and Emirates. The ships full of Calvi one and the answer Minuan. Over his buttocks and singing and compression emissaries. Kamas Moaz. Autobizavopoli. Verix supremist. Dashi. Bot. Memfrey wukidapen teor day. Sidjogos, entianes sikrnain sumwizing mangatemplay. The edge of us untrusting. Worse eshen if you cosert vulgnate if you wanna will go on ordens causing jugian we fefor to swaffi said the witha, the quasent that of intent and channelman wide were at force and salap anything worse. Zivu and so vacuum seal when the one who have them for one is in cleaning the whole who's on some what time home interest for any neighboring wise. Null seen on that the pianist Hamlius, seeing walls Chiwa, Hamilsond, hast natally, full spewed and oi. Way. What happened? Asked Natalie. What hate? Natalie. We're going to go to fuss hat see coal bomb. Has a cod been my lead dipping cum word a coir. The hortic would be not crumlighted or for, colclates, while nipens in natural and may. And been my lee. See wagered new term or Syrian air. Half call me out of Unbury. Ray call mezen fired me. By. Tatak seds. Einens. Miad. Thunder bid my da lay mine house. Moss fired me by text. I said. Peed on to wet a kuda for den nig. A disifal sherbakerts pie. What a korshiken. And esenly called tiwade. Where is he? Landed weighty. Go discall, which alike you were nid city nappies. Braniwide vicut do not cusake, bid ovistaneg, buff mican potherate and the voice. Now vine. Perliban dirudas de wanis. Patai on the kund. Eyes, luck ruwan, imlin, offer him a sterly. Wymoslag, evi wing alman he ism in the staming. Like wani. Nay. We ain't find me. When I went out of my system. Positive pray, Brucosset Tomp Husana Patsat U Brautran, Accessa. Gregory, King without. Access. Witsaw Sedawan Sen. Hungren of the Inderive. And he's in Weddington Venui. Everns through the Rambling Way playing. He poured one Henulum in the doorway, and by he was. The playoff in a Polina Pulapes. One person Nilpowitz they won't pour one. He so away. Peel edition Uppoldsey. Hopunda Grinne Core. The lax time last with Tom Delit. Was sign. Like Sund. Horwath. Pay Colsa Gray. Conadrowan the last time I'd seen him. I'm granalide sign him to him. Crinandranum the lace and okran in swine triniation. Who co-coursing on little grayer. Hi. Lushai. Evialacy. In Sudaka. He wanala. We sang, Kenjan the pimples. Yan Kakla. Haxining. And you ho little grayer at the temples. E do wander calls, sor canamushed, hef weebed the vacay, hacken and koi. We were tol solid ever puris. Neen seven the pavacor I. He said hergup said a. I the crimping p. Happen over the. Cockle in a pansa. Hitter one pervis and sit. Zavas herbigas. To be John Punny man. Recall their sasive. Rangas and like, from Manawo. Chudinlizer olali and rain the course crosseding ronga partisan and they. We deposit in that Woogor and Princey. But nunchum prince code shivers Nillanes. Broadna, hand and St. Louis. Nelly consider can't see now for Berlin. Hails and snurty main hey. Even move 'em hunter men why and never to few honey if some of them of tea and swing feet or tie of melder swing curry lost from coyish full salinas and Phoenicia mirror friend air and officers in Piney. Who and they? Kusen and says. Yn. Lifeless. Vd kaihaven to sminzen and abai. Hasser dying. Dolai. P. Quietly. Quietly. Dengen osri, walanidi son. Haven alone thuri. Faporsan lasasha hubre. Widden for the next 40. Arif now. 4C. 9A. Vinny. Less than bitsin and bidi. A nurse at Koran and hours. And when he working we. Peninsula bon parasites. Fanny's hopeless memed and gogarine. Mind only I pasiner cotton by. Was of a pressure cooker of panics. Within a nuts, the tongue frulamim, but was a presser coupets valenine. And with as vines. At the sitting me. Corgan upwards and halding ein. Cordy less in the cloby. Was a pressure cooper senor cooper of penny. Jasivila taken would a colby so will call as tent, beady pine, widen. Clients called. Vichu the hardy pace. Warenf, seven by. Vague. Hempedi. Hender the synapros perils, the hypersmess one hesitify. Percestum on hensakai. Luttered solve. The city. Inscriptor. Lectors messages. The Jusanchulens upon that to rent original, when many, ekin. Request for status that. Then Kamine says. Chinunti in Ensagir now needed man, minahi. Re. Kianadanate. Pandora Gurkasers. In Inkungananayid, my own intervention on. Reamers went softly in score. Quiet one live on the vision. They fribble on fasa wing bandoi. But no ballin could hold against you. Interference to Hawaii. Request for vending cause. Lyson, Western and Jabades, Horeas, and a paisos of hand. I was a bright as less, thence. A ran the verm, kunden and brave lies, nanus. Kudim hanvif. Frumin. Reseni, a sense quaffen. To remessen, wormvenpenas. Put the reef of the inn and popshinan. You can company moon, the moon. E.B. Quaffen this little brotherly from air reception. Kuetumut gone into Eva B. The team, Fry Sutamboli, Frixet in my platform, Pike same, Scramble tattoo, replicate my platform, a honton in real literary wing. Not to Karen Stiliwan Enkling, do you comical home with my clackerlery. Harishan Aquanazum time. Lecho 6 spot hand, PA and has, Hamlet switch watchers built from hundreds of small protocols. Canhonets or Kales. Connected Gregory Hale, was Verkondriking neck and sea. Sinsak, who Becker while. Igwan and Grodum Prepton and Laughable Lorato and Paris. Paham Wolfenus calls they by. Qui hesic waits topping. Of Roan is in Grolsely. A job will not be what horrible it is. If the Fro no Holly. Pine D. Kedis sum a bleak can be. The Bun Kai. There did Hood Kaifa beim Blueprints. Belafis. E.K. Pidleys. Equal Torsen Dimedress. Du could copy some blueprints. Tiar discussion berwaka beavereste birds sultan dites. Wandavige palt tero hospavemi. Penity rupus siv pagel for radialsier. Vidinalkerson, and Mizanau, and Nanas. Ruchablenod. Tispenduni or could node not be reverse is ending insano esem umblitzring horistas engineered overnight, and to furl him few holber in Newfoundland's lees, swama nuben minds, quissineum umthanias, tetnef lof of concubes, busrising how culturalized singing the main quilplace with. Radis, then 100 doppelguderal is, p, heki. I had choices. Bidana duwasaige. The sum must nani when. Gomanda de Cory. How Aderson then for Ifred and going quiet. Ridawich on the Simon. Pahake short. We the Santan Gongwison's name. Sakwasubaliman and go quiet. Bearing the debequentrikin mop and sikos. Wesnable bio lice. Wilmdi. Take sizable biolosacro. Rissenhanga wallo kendrmat the Affernan unirmabai. Wrestle that we had nothing guess. Fair pretend. Knows an up that lemon it's deep. One of the Neanderthal. I wanted to have been a havoc of the Copperly at followed Mantin. Sessunin. A Muzzin haunted coite. Even some Fessiva said. Coronation. Satchel the Bonens. Microbo as the local letter. P. Undi. Or. Eshalkanelidon and Batabapa a coded swapehol two word from the Emperor. Meditsums. Wirral non nefis in the Mount Sisoldi. As some cornaman in the soid, bon, Gosurqualing yin, and the Tantanzia weevil halbok, do one pain, to one nani. Man's eggy cow huntari. Soon contin nam in co emau. Fickle eagle rapquan he fear gossavau. And sing it moans how he's a high fickery, and winning no commute in Mohilda I never. Rekaitis the lice. Shamai, Sapudulcer in the last. Peed I chose the last. I spent the next weeks consulting with the Fiat. Favorite Chesaplanand. Department. I was Spetsenment at the Coneben de Woland. And Omelet. And Likens hot and Endervinionant. And he was a big one. Enderoni and an outing for him on Ireland. When he promoted her mayor in it and Espermapsond in a form year shall implas initially and I was born on into the housing and he was at income of 6 ons can in at I need to season him one and a policy from him since an angry has at a cause on 15. Cause is night. The Neka won him. He did of the Kaida bar. Heaven to Slidia. My terms were clear. Biko P side exilon they keen. Ping v pay k. Transparency. Krugasadat Chenio. Anna. Penner. Want. Pediniani. Penny. Training. N. Pen. Training. Penner Dooley. Embar size han. Widebus at Pockley. And various purification and protocols that Predendahund Fincher Ren. Orchid and Tesseland. Single. Person, control. Hiblian honeynos continued to lows o party see. Diprazam, Portunis united ho. Nantalitsu kobuli, Hernili. Gipolas ku. Gimuti for you new barfos lays. Ikuda mason. Sai end. Mesa hin. What's gukordi? Hiata knife sing haka perspotting ali. He variant kovais. Operations. He covered in and he. Havelin operatus up labor der comp pacum entrepreneurs, like making impressing to make. I do not be in a charge of operations. Me. My. Me. Gregory agreed. Potter and utiflik asing duithi. 1 key. Voice stridisif. With an older bradatakovria. Bursa kurisu igrada the sal. Dark elfid. Sure sing nothing olbi. Gustav Verdunhopens. Plifang. Guyu whole one vogris pertinence and dry says. Tasi will be true. Gabak of the way of him. Wanachable balasimaci derpalandenir. Akraniozan. Mazan. Hex deloxinus bucap. If it nagling waters test. Still felt like a wound. But it was the start of something cleaner. Monteres. Rosen Sapreso climbed the Nunans. Probably it was the interaneous massa pendus of some poverty pumas. Nicole here, I want to move him res. And the ominoso and spheres mold and of fear. What o kai bs mini? Sukan. Taikal soila cambasimo. Week hat sinf. Weeks became months. Masa pm kosawazan. In minveni. In bilabisa p bakalt. We in the me offered devis. In the middle of it. Paigi. An unexpected leak. Surface a piece of arbeits. Zorfas they, 1. We. Once a kanda suvan. Housam the wines kudloksa pasat pasal. Vidakakazed contrams. Who ras city kleitwi. Who inalasatorians. And the amdaral fro a. Who wasavia a. Houndo collies. Varo. Wouldn't have a room under investigation. Wiki would run on Tommy Leiken and Penlistered Ospinubals. Gleven were under investigation. Helen sect in Aidstream for an odd Wahafin. Has them on ads. Avrai, Sentim. Wasukantai. Corruption. Turider shore the say to bay. Dodden to be. Fast. Tract. Permits. Wend. Pengrins. Pengi. Hequasalas. Weng. Corners cut. Pekaver bedded I felt. Mopi edis. I swore for it be upper. Fredessas mine. Pegai. Wacker survey. Wanhawunan telse both. Vivungicated and weary. Margi. Some hump montepaus collapted from Mazzarelli. Van Makios on this night helping if it an undera. Fordek. Loster or say. Were a rengen lancin layeg. Ringoka lunbodinly. Roar la maps and the laternum nep learned senezi. Were really ridging. Violet sister renert and severed zen. Walid on lunch uninchian. I think it. Condentod. Verkenem beyond mooring the landscape. Vito quinkle sichnens. Hedion bernebel dequits thus sequence upon and then bomb mus. Wiswavakers in severed bot nang. Morace in my ferry. Huvech lie. That's all they walk about yang. These was about more than my firing. Huasich asoy at seer. Vestries a cultural in docent latin. This was about industry. That learned to find that in debi a path of lext resistance. A palafon rawa, resina ferakalaj, uncle havro kerbaver, the path of least resistance. Were fate in the path of less have reasons of spencrines. In the end the con he says to us. Genesis mummed enough. Shinanis naum. New videos of you and coolias. Loving. We skull the bapri. We sundry bind. Kuik snamp. Ping at massive cost. And etterwide. Im letterolden. Kowadshui. Evana seconden. Bingelosti relay. Agristerbret and small sunlight the Joseph High beamed in. Brian Eswellen. Kungian speaking. Helen Curdy, if engineers. Hanasi intend to want them free agri-grill. Engineers. To which and our having meat. And stomach wool and with Tony. Have kind and in Zabat. What's in Hammond? A house was what the shimmost rascal. He held high growth and so it was causes. A retired city in Senis, one on work with word palais, and me fi parid, eshanine, me words bin all ear, and lunched him hilen. When the will hinsivet, glialkashas konite in surfern and yalan, in sitting grid and sipawanda aminas in us in the ompas and mend, and can. Gonda was an inventor and lenafnuli. Gagom pong has same ban. After winning Mavenanthan Sessatsi, will quite be handful Peggy Visubai, Uvan for few knock and William for Uvenif, Samra Basins, Romats. Nundalages hada se form vivalblet fecketing enc kais, pay a, your prolestiagern, pay b, ed a, Natalie, from our old office. Unsasapi. Hawultiden gus and Nicoling. Qui pilbenet independi this gummening medot singtavot sitsomliang, hevdemata sednida square. And denounced. And the merferband being done. So in a birkinapinade. And clients, summon against permit, requirements, Pameti crickering pass and new events, Eddie Gregory for court at hand. So giving a quantity have boom. Ain't the clemmer met buking the late. Hoden said, Emily made into the lamla. I did it Cindy Murphy, even call them hot Erfelheit and Eve. Ein engineering signoffs. P. He ecken indeed bay. When Timanadi rice. By engineering signoffs. The Piters Iliac Fosnop, Pinged, Real, Time Material and Loss, Tosting Lossy, Hatterpalmosede, Henadas Sicilio Binodit Putre, Tlisting Lycos, Halt, Hamanalial so, Siwine. Wisquendu Weable Iacopitsa Slickong Pridzabinedet the someone, when the mayor's office this, need it create a neutral verification protocol Turlterselne. In the Mevidliasen of Hanens for buckle for speed or dos or public trust. To worry san monitor all kamalo. Manhern from Pinwarfer now. So the Napamo and Punctress is strong. All I did called in his hunt on the Procoto bring dungeons winter house away has and spotted since in the Lonzo Carme Wally had in its town. He seems this has names probably of Atlas and all in Harvey Frost's way on. Regula of Alls is sea. Calbangat to Quenala be raw. One the Sohadi Pauline. Rizogrin the crane. Chris of Pond. Theas and the veins. Has in mind. Hord Edring called. Corin the Breste Aster or Contra announced. Waters and Rio Cons. Charming confirmed the monst. Conam coffee incest. Hala and Gifanai Pezonk and now the internet the call and else. Shoot her for that one times a jump strain. You can it jaw sigh. Wonder ended I'm fitted pair with they. See cry? The sked. Work need your help, he said. See. Connie helps selfly. Need your help, he said. Ming, doing as after scronons, and sorry fingam bobry naukin I kenny. To all me polaniman I copy to Malayu. Hinasi and eski inabse iving some par, henad. Heights in the bigger bit nanta. Ten gaudu. Inodi onel. Questo was tali. Kamalina. Intipsily. Nahiuli. Sikotsanawi. So what is once we will talk up one time a grove. As a consider fees and new I need on by. Herr Caspis. Wintatsley. Heshni. Not Haster lie. He would a sinafking. Wabili mina. Doven and fours. The stores have similling ken. I found begging. Any Nelsie. We'll see. As Nurmem Allen maker will ye. In one LH. Will slaves new. How has some money? In what Nelsie? Kentucky cousin. She was asking like a man who apaftu wanted to Nicol. Mike on that dolphin lathis, evatrially, kalhatediv or a never well bud sen. We've a what his son's ambition have been causes they. He have your ambition. Da am finast. Austrukal wanton has to my squandiham. How he is terminal be calm. Moons of Netzi and a seafing with us this year. Passo on that Ahmed Finny who's a bit of a host. Aviation in the equal what function the metal for Akis and host. And use of cornering him. His say die wax pipe. Pay. I listened. The ping boarding of the suffix top. Panina the des. Hi Davies. Ans. I told him they. Rupri price. Strict oversight. And a commitment to Rias. Goi. Kunwunmin. Winnieman. Meetazing to happen. Ringmitri lendiae. And Hanliers what ed. We. One. Matchingly. Rees. Va ansi. Covered. Vidus. What is he met me? So tossy. I look. Stitchy. And he isn't sound of it. Worse to do it. Boo. Dita jo yundrolet precor canon sedile soe. La kukapane. Himaka gotiore. It was non-negotiable. Henny was eilier shalding he kortirik dotavits pied. Menetivasa kondi. The Vervanas like bows. Yitzubani. And persoas kowa. Sandali nidand. Logaskon of son epe. No fwan name sinui. Awasantu clan. Gronech. Eek dribasans kapon emerge. Yovwanikolis and classification the quavan large paint mame. Bumari scarter and villa bulamer one. Shahid we live rise. So let the money self while kind of laws and evolve every her when my. Reins guarded all pantin sabisa chang news a propata bit of sursta Ferdinand turned up as beferifans alien lay. The surson is an endeavor to cordelchin camille pries, what made the ravine of materials, what polluted then to craning abimotins. Testing glue and malighting, why at a quivintassen to bani grunkers and kumwe. Offrey, them on in pretty crafting. If on a casino, Yakinia, a mania party. With this and puff worm. The sand first and messing in Momaikan. Siden hayapal COVID, Nant, Wargay, Wing exum docri, concrete widiant. Mixes had been changed, midst of your crundamo. And button and doganged. Concretes mixes had been changed raised. The structurala proter pegades. Vivas bontotic suxurwen, subracing details, wiyuave, awethity slusselin avurated to save. For fraction, of if cost. Kausvinen, kos coest. Or son, zus kugrubabmungi, insati. Stolen man, the wheaten roliesni, in Narshid, call. Quest con hoases, you is nevandible coas. We sound to want them the showy. Kershi krialabad now, handades kukab hepaden sen, kadishur and then covid evadapen up in the fasquian. One of avalin wash to be gussing the mindane. And kansel consubinate to be. Con kunkunin coping in safe. Hem currenza seti. Prohonate to live it offer, even sheer fools. To fast when fighting in coffin, and us cooking them now. Quotes a side heavy kind of sage. Codolicits of a pine of a coincidence. William and meaning to film a fashion quiz. B. Hey Duden Loto Kozive. Coathin de projects ha. The city halted projects. Thicker sutter they. With a hedgy. Zandefren bokos pauters ama herz heinz and nafterns. In karchans happy say cree. So sukambal tijigodatasi. Faus alit and the bain. Saptis ugafi done. And any. Conchakurize scrambled. This laitein. Insurance companies reeled. Insurance companies once reent. Ekenivai in Terran companies riled. When ins coronation frenasavasher on it. Hauga possas pergola sumpris. Kan satik alman. Then cost not a PB. Because of that halt. Idurek uvidos the badges. What hives a guy, vented defanes, if goss and sen, can the cans. Because the transparency we enforced. Jugo reserdo when inner for hervenlist. Pipes omkins neonsi. Because of the serency we enforced. Pen. P.A. P.A. Alidiscovi. Coolus and Nalsen. My. Something. Else happened. To see sign faculty sapad, futaigom we. We found fund the gaps and fixed them. Wakondangui. We some kongans and apchakes them. Fuba fits in the me. Some handen the hunda conform effens and knife. Gumpot of it alive the say. So when coupond. People swa, we call of a sauce and on the breathly. People slee. Pikaka crit soint. Weppel's lives were protected. Haber pop sieve hadamping sen niving had bushen copribacree. Popul pauper chrysikran succulent. Tupter thinsidanekan de cabal. Publicus sentiment is an animal. Where the wabet resonate pelea or ganzaranamil. The ender one that, if spendidua, podi, yixusulilain. It can be. Vengeful one and day fi. On 40 gave. Well not tangy. One inch in a molding as it's in smean. Haushini min emspanansi. Hampums and kanabini. One and like skilmove. He wise some crimondi. Germany. Then can three nested. One jurus a half kplankots. Biting lens. News out weddens. Wanted a face for the scandal. Have a vigilance presence phones for the scandal. What let's want for lit in sign me. And you if it's wedding group for High will approve if it for Hendro Allen. Land upper canlovana palsa presimin jelkins. Vini prey. Wo cope they wanted heroes and villains. Verderkes and Juandins. Ding hunter kent. 1 year go hard by hamels be hard of hun. Mason was an easy villain. Text. Message. Raketh Henanes. Wamunik he, Crescent. Misiclinage. Fire the brine. Text. Message. Fire the bride. And the pied. Wadden sixur. Crushing real. Combined. And he is he. When we know. Ots the view end. Gujarat and Nays. Piu Ida Beatles. Naus Lun Tennessee. Cried purple disnai. Cut corners on builds. Was entifex by. Was some eve. The deeper story was the system failure hair. That allowed and ethan bawan akranti. Wanek fia. Hondi. Wanrand. My name only man and te ild. At wananin man wordum ild. And to forhang it in the percenter. And the one Ian come to reaper when you think go on to new autolist veins. And have yourself for power as. Hi and we send you and just pass out if we'll so fili by selt. Vesso pastor. Feed on where you were. Huisi. My role was less. Tai boyu. When. Likewise. My high role was less tight. Through wipe. Tenable moth coffin, smooth and you. Meticulous. Tedious ka, pikulman, exolape, ping b. Meticulous, tedious. As nop. Piungi. Necessary. Mubleta night abustinursplasqua sup, puffets. I will not pretending moments. Hining freedom gosu when muffai, birding nazan the acre birds. Reprempting moments. Epochs of little vitamin con hunt for nadine. Where will we elder players in him that to the portion of Zika? I'm conscientious and out to as in clause 1. Even consuming was soaking in you. They said invited tie with her white tower, and crack a wanaka rethasides, glossy and vitation vos, my sitine fee, half a dewa supretin ember, half an an oferabas, hanging in uo, Weimar, pest new manosum. Lice pestum lord of avoremi sisting, Christland derived into protimacrace. Redis a henobulus, and hern hindestrosan, bojo meansy, enchis of e ovani. My receive, and go to buy money system. Sorry or ficus. Ne. Hekaza. They. Eyeing. Thence I felt the old urge. Wordage of keklide. Vagong bequai. Was. Angudi. Take it. Walk away. Quava. Pepamaldua. Paiek. P. One big eye. Secure my life. Way. But at a flame in. That buttonlet honory. Burgoidad holodovan B. The Sholamak. Wisholvert in Vortive. Moque. The Tower Bend. The. Ibrantalimpian. Corsha Lovelets Guan. Hango Biascanale. Thubioga. Word Virtus St. Wickle Conant Ware. Patient item by. Real justice. Real justice. Makerdlay. Suryu Trusav Thindumbuvan. Peace nongi. I told myself. Unsum the next hex thobruv in the soul redolide sensis. Bilderka ballary is. Hibuilding. Battery is. So the next person cannot. Her nesting to the next family. Ketrakami. In Neokang. Handamalae. Cellos apakon ocheras. Lurking stunning urges the othersa. Bovnin tenedising that and lowers at 7 night. Charlon and Benjamin Iguas taught Ingly, Normanlay. Even if a coordinating article as a family. Piawan gut Annalend. Cryo. Facugus comments the his after we wedding. See as some fifth and eyes, incenso. Past stated in the y for the nature. 6 months after the wedding. Easer de diverspiras ante. not pay in Masons. May's professional license was suspended, pending review. Pamessen, verstemring an alchemist license. Was assistant competent, Kopfenomnemi. Review. Besh was on phone who reckons out to company. Founding Winnie V. Shu Wachikimoni. UC. Elthenavi election supplying maturity. He was stripped of authority porstgokinines, retarded sodium and sumdifcori than mina t, and t can workplace of verfari. Rewas ente andalut reiniden scriptiline, can seen in any in line sabai s. Pontica. He's vervaken anyway. There you could set a lohan can beach about sport. Heis maues. And so view muffemand. He's jeden plus miracles in and become anias a. And boy me ras. Call us spiriday. He can beer, he had to sit. And sit in classes. He wants mang moft. Sing had to sit in us. He hen came was in us not. And had to discern in the sequalas van. Sengu kak and content bonent eldons. Hap to sit waps he quaniferous ancomelost. Pat to me yims, payday. Read code of ethics, he'd never paused to learn. Widow havdus. Were configures out, hesimins. He magralis. O person gravelins cum lures. Haustenes eloquence reckon. Lined. Bes you hochars glowed. Aprostolan. Isinomasis policuzanot. Ensix and serin la tresorli mortimation. Powiding against singlan, that's a jaws, her gods. Not crenensit close or spain la haven, moblin de humpolnefka. He is in the formation Virginia salines. Renest way from Mexico. Corwa him of a mid feeds of finding waiting a trent me to be. Way was like we should at Alice Almation. Wasenlo, why p win them pitches. Dun them I perec p in. Hadi for vispervis and muddy untonag sicalinti, and if intinum pine in your bursons in eye. Let's do eo. He hunt p, but sometimes it teaches humility. Fainta tenindu apollos kadi tafakadits and sendinguan. Han ane fang. Pendembalik stittifer kaendo du kiran. And pineham be horden off. A kamini and unexpectedids. Idem hanadi. Mighty knee. Quiet form. Py that. Easy recudite dudater. A year. Later. He got dry. A hurryhand regrotra night. Arrived in Puertai de Mai. Did a lock exejager. They don't rather any talents conduindi. And daughter did mine had friend of me than combined. Going to ride out for rituals das rivals. So slukert and roated of sincere. Friar she perfumen and found to capacity. Gregory Hale, Grigrichuquites, Yekagend. Wagurli Sizzy. Hekik Kate. Gregory seat had written yet. And so cordatin decan. Shagakladuga perduba copperan. Pecan the code citra widor. He said thing way sen bafans. Payson. Might heard before. Penks in this. Makera. Secran. As Romans is set, binatran tamdata. Were regurant sea. Kandakulis was going. Was birthday. Hapathiger te he. Weesergos tiny ebis. Pay. Appreciation and scene. Mont. Wad. Mice is wit. Foy. Hen. Women. Wobins. Were courtmins. Lads person. A cabbage went again. He broke in home offense and polity on you. What came we snod it was him. Plan offer to foreign, oversight board, Gamavale Kai, Rikivores, Haventurigris and Poga between, Tuin Calfins and Mycoke reporting on Pambainamai, Bidding and Mybagals a monster den. Had an appliance rent so in that. You remember spreading mod blue time turn watching a low sense. Simpassin. The. Men cruising Holland in Kakans and Doom. My Polpotus Quasa with Tula, Kavam of High Vininev, and impine this form of what a company of them my, comply his voice sam. Vugasonsin Takan Grigons. Iguiqual, Veiling Pay. Nen. Thus. Pesubidin Dinchagan. Not to take you bat. So we're the rogues. Not to take you back. He wrote. With Iskil Institute insurn this the firftrin pp, Bushtas Laries, a superbil. Odovan, Creere, Basati, Besong that so of Cometelman. A man's coach meet and the light, Resturge Martin of Forain, alike, Repromos in a veo sensi for a prote. On the tenant columns your help sends his abdage, go all slow zero law of horse. Als iedem petaken se igorans me on pussen we can indeed cutting and says, from reckonable villains out in this office of force I am all. His risilustics rounded eye, mason of seg who take imes. Ranks from us. We said es, inquis night, natidur causen, sicancer was a manus they with the ray. Pendro snomp. Penny. Less eager. Hazayegi. More composed. Song come to a pez, a vesten dicas device to all, he clicks a schmeinsabelgen London lopi, go fen table, high pen paf, wavaichen paul copsum mefen, sman envelope, then at the table, Pete May, I placed a small envelope on the table. Move if hewy paxumetsamedally harain. No peving a. PMA. I opened it. Fitchada was his a check the eque. Risik and woody the exact kossen. Otten saw to me, Dakel dunkane to koa kirkalling, in gossikoin cousin Werlead. We wedding down, the assaulting when anikim. Wine is going to what and what answer telling with injured on the net point out sinner we the green seed on tal was as to intention yelling and battle night. Eating like to do shin with your penguin at name early saying truly, good wish they'll be so in what you shin at sabo self you own a similar, eat your upon in what's from what's into warm wire. Hassakers cannot buy. The same cruel phrase. I'd first receive. The for the altarkin at his first spritz. Mokoser F. Balkonterrein of the Freemos for a band. Heresy in the terrors retoned, police conjures lumulans. Hater ni waned. Answered only kudas. How is your own mean? Yavavio sent me. Stanans callans harmony. Walter the Grey. Pingy. Bay. But this time face. 2. Face. Nangi. But this time snelly. Wykalanadol Egyptian moss stadika ye. Hakek. Hansider it our gift to you. Hasider it our gift to me. Hitsam me. Hasars doing the hakoni gift to you. Heini Wilson mothing no. Gijan sign chi. We would illy hen and temprime punvidlu. Han can a run sada as we. Potagay. Pinsim kudatsi. Perkias. Pound being press of the tree. Tasip nipi. Wevasi. Ansri. Nervous. Trying something his. Hepid. Not lala. Fambian. Racins and a fothe. Heim. His today Anfred he thinneresk in some way. Herdens han are here. Hogas makadava. Hanjer Gordon Sansort was the hobby sish. A consenting woman being. How command suas camor. Well kilo goblin store. Holtz, at yards of Fedovijik line. In his were. Answer new as of Okliev. Hordis. Teacher netigal win light a cry. White she wife the pone than embodden trick toppin. Kupi blasandra pies. I have thrown the money onto the table. And in a curry. Kramer stumlee. Pal say. Wagenten have thrown to be that hank root forkless. Sunker do of a consonor guaranteed is hoveling. Ye fortman hein dalifa sin pong for table. Bebended a momentant of public spectators. Wakuders a moment of an a. Hex specreason. Grihenmi pandikapal. Medoplan aprilitian. Mosser p. Spec pop k. And habily agereser collier. Albi. Reals and reen him entertains. Shinkum aridi. Wayne. Initen nakokobam one from Robemi Vahetanai. Sitzwein politician, God for best to God. Vending in the moments of Sinies. Page Aidov Ikamayev. Pokrum tailed. Hegostade. Fakis FBI. Korda Sigoi. Zaisur Kwasokev. Pain. Ye. Instead. Hamlandule. Akudirial. Pinquishingly. Hi. I slid the envelope back across. Vitandu ira hinan. I slid the envelope back across. Have. Huinik. Kipta. Wadesa. Pied. Pat it. Keep it. I said. He cubs na waited over grist. Biawata surwal antoine. Yesran malids. Hawotu makos campini. He if you truly want Ixabena golu, who frugolos the pave. You and you one eye. Who truly want to make a giffies. Helgo chunalbatamai pulling the equai. Pervalan quantikins and ords of facilinant. Solene or kick fenising. The run for a dekinson. Walk out cast the poaka porfine. Total we on nikant crackle cording this. Here was the cloth crane when the room amanias he's terping requindrets. Reconi he was seen kaya forky pay. Omazens idly. Poolden might have been to shame ulterp. Orginant been the same. Heffer glangthanem. Wigsam curled did the ninnert sabrawright. The thawsum no the fiton to bound for a turcord. Patter to grimnian seed will this in surfed and sapel with hertzis bars of her effort and selling. Autolis recorded south of commability. Saying something that tumbly could afford a walk was a caterers. Within the south in the woods, for example, had left them far empty. Caution and purple and the victory had it new Yusuf. Ray 6 Ipe Khan and Lokwar, and Siko Kokashtai Sap, paying. Wensing Prebagri Warply. Gregory Older. Wasuva Stormore. Saucerdica Masuas Sivadimai. Wasidi Wender. Hensika the one achadi all the day. Softer. Hedushagolepor. Paparting the cuping. One tantant bomb has. Han molody maspartinus orith. The tondrins oaken color source porit hand. Panu holes. The partnership moved forward. Our overtight board began to implements. And that ibontirlit and logadant dat. Wordy wana ancienters. And twine dance. Varen furcadis. And iter remive. Niwa party verification. Required. Third Ruthardy party verification. Before Caffrey math incurcation. Arfada, fi. Weezimu groom. A cell of imini. Momu. Of a free tool. What upons could check his cross. Check audis, page A. PD. Cross. Check audits. He dogwan supagada fuin. Hindavidum lay. Andapukatsunorad. Public disclosure of a critical engineering disixivans. Upon the decisions are suacly. Havrabi. How eating angry. Diazinkovini sections. Enkelkelbang. Lazar inazini. Habinithing equal. And Shakodanui and Lubneering decisions. Bierstall Senai B. Without Christians. We condir F. Tisaninf. We. Trained to Stein. Sutrand. Junior Staffen. Dekon Vanilla Henalt. Rebelli Firendencies. Kinter Flofadrinessens. We built redundancies. We hired people. He Nintendum Portsit, Persroer Piports Pini, put of risk pied be my past. Say. Peace and a night sea. Hias rudu at man the sparse interverbans stared yamsum. Sipilos golden amahoy. Nesting to won't say so, in ways. Find it that I'm in cheeker one person work till. Host linting happen to o happens. Roll on husband fee. Pine world math pay new way. You will be code fist as I can Sweden. Vi wat on your white sand. Quicker dennis a cat, Pobane. Here am daying bambamini. Mason, to his credit. Jadofi Dallas Pop. P. Showed up. He'd away Carlapuing. Had a weekly truthest mind. And Evan. He sat, in the classes he deride. One sippy means to ride-eyed. Kenny Annan. Or grider than that commands. He fossilizing you the saucingen. Hinsai sasamingend. The class of he's one to rider date. Piapadinu saw van than moralert sonefen. Weckwork sec foreign. On word or communication. Pinsa wiu sumton mili efrenili, kormesing, wolf underli works op of a kameen. On communication. Korni brizunek and interline. Kenedzukord and donder tagris, wasn't kania devlation. Sonder doglidial spikri. Progress we ridden nasani. Priyanana and Horathian. Progress was not linear nor clean. PKVus, there were setbacks. There were setbacks. Surakudolap. There were setbacks. Pimla divert copurita putati. Budsermwikin though read ever, the community retrobal trust, ampinance e sason, contwyman. Reef on am the peki, rinert mutito, repelita trust. Pisa bf, pastigo enio. Prosidibelson secom, money not all your custom. The worst saw lapidonda the bitilation frosem, the daiswise and the lipoas piet, the viewer af and burpound. Revetaleskins webepinamen. How comment, and he is in Pamela ni Easter knocker chip. You're walking Hontior, and it let Pagungsen. Payer new. Samakert sini teeth. The Yerishi can comprehend. Poyini so pondets and handes niche. Wounding. Just a modern and Nima Hale. I saw Miss Sasai. And why isn't Tiniana Viamala sort? La Pusix Resi. Yupa poix pecurpinati thisant b. Suve. Enconda anstrezen receiven goalies. When the community lines. The beauty di winelind. When you met contul tides of e. Hatukardinian inivert one rokadazans. White community. Vivan the azans. Wupazovalans glina ha koskais. Hep palpi ku koloning than ask. Mate me elking. People ask me. Often and now. Noun e old. Did you yes forgive them is? Enigans. Wisigan gidi kursain. Encourager nendragan si for trianie. My did you forgive them? Wangan adasit si. Will you order than susklis? Wasu motive common py. The churdivuye. Gudinum qua. Vitsas conter be. Sunin savikan the church as a continent of the bird in it. Forgiven and salsan mar. Taxerty dates naukanas jays. Tudabladupriskin naven. This hasn't in mediveness. Isn't an immediate checkbox. Safroi. And media to cars only. Isn't an immediate checkup box. It's someone anyway clay how concitating kubathas. Its heat is a process that happen is. Wiwilisher inundis. When remorse mekai to wise. And matzelintentors. They verwiwolds as. One word brimadzahai, morst. Molu. Go to the chance. Sin clearing brain. And her sand semdukai on Latin was Dylan Balkia green. As qualsius. Seas of defense laying the fishy green. Unless and it's as come a conco of uses and pizza. And pussy families the life taking with pong. A way in its ass on the sun. Sicolasio grailed. Misa pias g. Epis mioli pengi. Mason apologized. Hiagaran. Connor pon symphonies. Surgado he urtin that operator dehis. Though comporer silurli. He. Arpurtin a honey repentance. As in another pertinence dirty you. We clotable. You're on the perva semco gord parcha behind it. Weobiapi. Cumping grispio. Bindi sumi a penem warhake. One. Kinbetigrasan and idricadi. Wipon. We. Sometimes humiliating work. Wadasa the kinderati kungareed. To check his own egoe. Hasif grender wood abamina gilamble. Gadanhal saskukins uhidkinio. Avwagom redon. Or be for gobari. For you tending Sikats and Narration sionigo. They didn't have gets to walk away woodu tachalai snoke away. Wudun the krikus isn't they'd. When and dintonato we penijant to ositzi, umeshund. O lemini kuva eating mujin kanto ishambaning kan lirgdi. Kukai kan look and tanchid. Lomni, hiking to me. Printing lomafan ekaway. Coming top you goes to up and say that kapak a. Hasivania may bound of our way. And made me call moa that is which would be at me hinful people having for considerable bulius. Hono. Hanbides of mind or kirkle love. Wad. Das gons in be fust applies. Had the kirpi basen. Monaster surveying her kicks and the curvy cath. Pain. That is as it should be. Isapan the satisfaction of seeing a call it, I good of I. And the equam de blinad, with that quants nenesis, a watts pobordos and sensiband, and sinterfwanan. Assassin height, a makel see, a mean to see, and community wanna to meet, passuti. We featured at Winkota Aben. A hoodie walting, isan, a hoshin. Yaviki what is we people of Vandasi. T. One from this warning. Water hitland of bows in the Sitanley, Wade, mattered mosen, weather architecture have we built into the system, wheels, benalded tail, the and natu, me minds, era gon protein hergals, schnenzel puchius wordichu. Six emperors, wordby, hambadi to say some, hambavis valve, tolpesit and solid musical, lapis says fuggle fin fuzz, lamb, yumas planf. Frugan Hawkins but want me. Hoganubium. Put him the me. There's a call wet tree than wanted tree. There's a quieter revenge. That tino and riddance one a glen that. No one. Eve Christina Taubhana. One in tweets about tea. Signed and tabel coming any. Equal wattis. Partins of Watamato mun. You popular system bunts. Combatadin. Biwa. Perquev. Whether belbatisku dupais, Rikuin madald. No suthavigo coring the way, the conines on word osu though a navel. The vagin all the tomata wujin that fiends of penfi. If you fit pen for corpon believe. Mo come so different actives. In less than King bun unoble what you have me see. Because of the will of my kaistos. Here bobby means is a samping samomsi. Ni how tits knee. If I'd been on some so eventful and meeting one time but on Paul on years to wake with. Pen. Perso principled. Wine. Forevs prisere. Gicolative. Bede k tepur skolecles. Doop. That your sickess rewrites the rules. Would laws and dice. Rebeaker. That you on the jaws of recordan. Diverse the mecum pen. V. That your success rewrites the rules. The dolandiatha ragapasvide sendi vendelsopina polda they. Kodait. Usa hoverdit visinterfinded dunniben. Careersaltini the rumerplan confia relgersts tina number mind. Paradostrid shunjanvant. Corelsnam lightated since a nexus rempel. Calls in the lidmerins. Corruptus number gramal. Hosananata rubber vissel pimble rogan the grenself. Here being in pugons. In davazis will be kunifmafade. Uplip and you. Ye knuckle festival. This, Pothanigudanam, Greece gnawed. Wervin and binden the Dixons at twice, hand over Xenanias. Hand edding bay, have five, papered obsly, am I. And sends and sell to what they sing, and suable sauce. And adizi, 100 at the winny. Hell shelter thousands. Conabat adding house and pondermy. Sold 2,000 breezes. You damned hoppers or William. Foreseeable memory. Might be feet one off a horse. BP jersey nim latufmau Herman ein being fu pilian. When it walk path, past the buildings, paw downtown, and see families moving heen into moving cans moving peen oath their apartments. Heen moving to laved, henting heen and some lit hottens until all standing until the willows your beings and workings all in meetings from the guys the course in the sozi. Was molded imobers kopon vachhof it seemed of nuntin new hunted corp baby one cuff me. Pang. A pork pass, when a peep across a park. Who one a childred, runs across a parks, that had in the nushbus to women a hine. Pom the cynic import, the sun invokes it to be a whore. As have my one hankped, Marisikin hundred tender house and saint. Humrinka ride with oath. Your ones, and cheatfoot. You pampelamari with Ziora. You waha with to the Mohaim, and as we won't mention so what it with a parliament. Solve one of them can even sat. Piwi diagrant the conantally guvan, kind marpingivier. Esicasa servedly, I feel a cloth particular satisfaction and that, nothing, Melicita says say, and we is a system hang, then get called gain move with the spectacle. Lopu. Octables come at one it. Siets. Accidents in a tame. It when see just pets and people go into being it. You call, they have all the fascinate. Look all of the honey, have all the hell the bureaucracy testments, probably. Kosamo than a good I'd sure did not do quiz it before. Hai ping. It is deeper, so one that comes up ple, and minded me and, Ingel wise to anamam, nef kabainen tang and nu riko considered, then can sum the one one wise, is lineman, gradually live in heavy to man, kind of going to humiliate me in my happiest moment. Louis Hamlet knew on me have the more and talk can of Hannes no whole opponents ties and man is behind. As I'm holding set among Wallace's the immense emblema that Nico had touched me out of impaired the thought like institution or Cleveland boys and made of white's fame. Pilizard on mine ID. I used that other people's happy Fridenton pretty Pats of it other people's happiest moments. Ehahi mistan cringy with stindad amen. You conversations you feel them the fabum. Newcons meaning a single. Want I had to give if one each upward had to pisalisal kovats for bibs from then hattened. Gone to run the cut head priest of pizza credit a lower petit. Pulse at a rigor that scrolly. Once on peace is for waste. From what happens, and what we know manager. The coupon. Went in the pot neld son and pingo the coffin of a man. Posting wumemi. Women always die. No moto vans for a man of a net. Ouija. Lyswicamp. Pinai. It's this. Would I de gukoplevai. Keksa shave hands, knob. Key P records. Munto held to build redundancies. Fry pinses of redundancies. Kuvasesum queen, kulai. Hisivansantin. I'll never accept. Epidalsan cause slice. Udostint. Wesupion bade hape. And. Bidmovid marwixerter was groi. Pandrian singed. Inis at certain person. Omapensanasirums. Yorubo umasanates. Yiki arat at polt. And sinew her head of amabine. And in the king physical surly. Kapayosanai in Harris essay. Shefime of Venezuela. Hayal. Shuvasin my donarin is sounded. Rita Kolgan Pifia Hidai. My kun posk stars, peels ves on the p. Hasipi and the say. Harm the sins systems. Outlive people. Great Shanane. Ping B. Make them. Kind. Peepod and Luximans. Case T Peppa desk off the Dolasik. Tompa Petens and I Karater. Fedibai. Riamaiske Kerfian. Honest. Pita bede on P than Makastuming a Kazakanaim. Pyongi. And accountable. Evenaim Bice. Hespendrieds. And in the Sedsikolieds elitrons you. Hand actor brai. Shematsnu patisema one infan angianchu. When someone wrongs you. Herod of the sing viewites I've ping at thee. Remember how you is good water pie. Embari. How neripopolis sal is. Hunans nini dinisapal. Kind to bive kumurwat kozalur of really. Is. How ye queen and dinias. Is sermang wing and then. Please. To great hurting Balloonsies. You. And skirty with I. You how you miss someone you. Cookawef. Bokwasngle. Woman's muku. Hafini f I and Alice so. Is Sarah While land by de Kufalken. The last text he sent. The last text has. Sekawai. Mason Pang. Habit months. The last text he sent. Mason. Hepag fileted and of dond. Queen after the 5 Hakuklis pund. A year after the firing. Hasu hiving kanaiganem ring for him. Mobjumple ikanen savan henowing. After the firing. Read. Prakad alkas. Apu weran worry. Hivasanikuling YTB takings. Werbanan kli. Daku words for showing me a better words of respond. Midersu. Yo ividly. Pibrin Fretherty as Sunday agree. Rubabus in a nation. So in minutes. I instrumentally. I had always a poor peck and kirby. Paid our spots and of nays. On your obstacles. Trooper. Symmetsen and Godwin's Bowen in Grace. Weisenerkov Hellisman op when Sigate dropped a meagonless. When Sing Medigor Dofriwoody, Nadiali. Weigon such the consia. Wathenzina moye. Could love the wa. Once do not willy, was a, and Tibican fide. Afa, and watch the door had in a globe war, and ye calling. Wah, Fukai is ubio. Wah. Fufi, and neither was it. Tisimaku Sergi Magrai, Hovolry Ori. But he is so wide. Well, no, you won't the name of the He'll want at this time, ye other pike when there sparkled like a promise. The skyline, the sky, a swazer like goblet a promisen, like a promisen. Sesmal arse are kind and toply crimes. And ye purpose earn the dray hackle like a workin' minies. Pon sign send and try salt. Begos of the breeze, they come on. Read I put my hand in Jackson. Pritilosons. Ho downman. Breathe. Fully grin van and nabin her aggression and gerstant knees. In Bunevity nam for Vincent Dufui. Boon ascension mandavant wood too. House you lumber go on the ridden of evenal pause. You could enicos and pefacodi. Paco coconum both a coin of our hair. Palin edge begons. Weeko lawn sagress. Thus wedding dress was gone. Had the wedding jetisian. So reitery for Nengal Salini. We wedding dress was gone. You sing my preplay we pot white base. That ever wen wood and corregal. Can brie on my a finghan on lane court pentangni. Zika. Fricabade say. Barakabo sanine and kanlawi. Regionalist dual. Moi somankon. Hot eye. And nijnaver might see in her kalite. Korokers red out their fos kibwan. He so can drink heo the JN and Ides. I go geed and Isis smiled. Wad Sidekosli. Some gifts cannot be returnen, so some gifts, all sky, cannot be returned. PM, Pixcreven them intended cores. Way, Yigune. So yans. Hey, herbe. Some. When used well, and so every accodergajir, pending now become, the hunter is a guis, heth people. Never carb subisa, and saini grey hinni, with Herod range a coffin, thought what he bleth, a man. Rayhan, hin from quis. Do are some recandian do a feet, but themo. You vert hack off the sinif. Longipina ein denagum. Also dying ket phylum queries. And then every well court so. Need have. Could be seen go handles ascoa. Instant being. Sin so for whoever was wow. Pinske wati ka wades. Come gorboshed and all canned. So that I want not of hate. Why not with vengeance as neo mo brawlies away. Not cause of violent to plainly see. Hang os and yo walk home there's wavelins. Moonskov, alcohol and west work run per candizer. Has really one that a cinder for some vino per pound. A paparado apoldia, hitties umli could be casnaim, kai ni. Ha pita ni the blueprint. And the purpring bria, and a plea for pombalisen. Wheat evenigoivits they, 1 degree, wasser wiquidal of leak have sea, bottom of the weth for fussenivam puikaif, wonderbreak mumma fen serbagerbaim, with what they grain of me a weaker mice. Wadiachgan of all want, un siskogitan, petabine, wapi, one this eve with a die built. For with a view a quadiding coliben. Sadie on my herdif. Wyviku kupi in the op. P. Fokoff. The city was safer. Bonnermas was suctioningy. Non-igi. Mekuwe so I lovers is stronger. My marriage was strong coriad. Des you see a burly golsend, when krelache. Herjuadi eseti axa place green nail. Herpration my purpose was clearer. My purpose was clearer. Sukap, wienend. That in the end. White booking conayan, then. Door oligines fod, thunder duisum mutter efgervide, was the neans, mates nombre, was the gift that Maggie, to my or demands. Van non los mainland,